There's something about reality that most people never truly understand. The things you want are not missing. They are invisible. And there is a huge difference between those two ideas. Most people look at their bank balance, their body, their relationships, and they assume that if something is not showing up in their physical world, then it simply does not exist at all. And this one misunderstanding is what stops most people from creating more money, more success, and the life they secretly want. In this episode, I want to show you how to stop giving your attention to what is missing in your life and start noticing the reality that already exists beyond your senses. Because when you learn to see the reality you want, instead of only reacting to the reality you have, the future stops being something you chase and starts being something you step into right now. If you asked me what single thing holds people back from success, from turning problems into solutions, from creating what feels like miracles in their life, it would be this topic, without question. If you've been in personal growth for a while, you already know this idea on the surface. To become wealthy, you can't keep focusing on being broke. To become healthy, you can't keep focusing only on pain and illness. To attract love, you can't keep feeding the belief that you're alone or that there are no good people left. Your attention has to move toward what you want, because where your focus goes, energy flows. And over time, that focus shapes your reality. This idea goes back to Think and Grow Rich. Thoughts are things. You are creating your reality, whether you realize it or not. But here's the problem. All of that sounds nice when life is comfortable. It sounds inspiring when money is in the bank. But when I was facing foreclosure, drowning in debt, and barely had anything left in my account, how was I supposed to focus on abundance? How was I supposed to feel wealthy when my reality was screaming the opposite? That's what we're going to break down today. Because this may be the most important thing you ever understand if you truly want change. To do that, we need to look at two ideas. First, how reality actually works from a quantum perspective. And second, a powerful idea from the mystic Neville Goddard, the concept of the third and fourth dimensions. Neville taught that two realities exist at the same time. The first is what he called the third-dimensional reality. This is the world you normally call real life. It's the world you experience through your five senses. What you see, what you hear, what you touch, what you smell, what you taste. This is your current situation, your money, your body, your relationships, your environment. And this is where people get stuck. If you want more money, but you don't see it in your bank account, where do you place your attention? If your body hurts, how do you stop focusing on pain? If you feel lonely, how do you stop noticing the absence of love? It feels impossible, unless you understand the second reality. Neville called it the fourth dimensional reality. This reality is just as real as the physical one, but it can't be detected by your senses. It's not solid, it's energetic. It's a reality of potential. Nothing has fully appeared there yet, but everything exists there. This is the realm of imagination. Some call it the field. Some call it consciousness. Physics calls it the quantum field. And modern science actually supports this idea. When scientists look closely at physical matter, they discover something strange. Everything solid is mostly empty space. Your phone, your body, the table in front of you. All of it is made of molecules. Molecules are made of atoms, and atoms are mostly nothing. An atom has a tiny nucleus with electrons moving around it, but the space between them is massive. So massive that if the nucleus were the size of a basketball, the electron would be far away, almost like a small ball circling a stadium. That means your physical reality is more than 99% empty space. Yet your senses interpret it as solid. This is why Einstein said, "Reality is an illusion, though a very persistent one." And when scientists look even deeper, past atoms, past electrons, they no longer see solid particles at all. They see energy, sometimes behaving like matter, sometimes behaving like waves. This is where physics starts to sound like mysticism, because this energetic field is exactly what Neville was pointing to. The fourth dimensional reality is where all possibilities exist. Your future exists there. Your past exists there. Every version of you exists there. There is no time in this space. Everything exists right now, which means the life you want already exists, just not in physical form yet. The money you want is already real, just invisible. The healthy body you want already exists, just not expressed yet. The relationship you want is already present, just not tangible yet. And the moment you stop feeding your attention to what is missing and start tuning into what already exists beyond your senses, reality begins to shift. Not because you forced it, not because you chased it, but because you finally learned how to perceive it. What Neville is really saying is this: a part of your potential reality has already become your current reality. Your life right now is not random. It is one version, one possibility that has materialized from many possible versions. And what you are trying to do now is bring a different fourth dimensional potential into your third dimensional world. So the question becomes, how do we do that? Personal growth always tells us the same thing. You must place your attention on what you want. But here's the problem. If you look only at your physical world, there is nowhere to put your attention except on what's missing. The lack of money, the pain in your body, the absence of love. And this is why understanding the fourth dimension matters so much. Once you accept that a fourth dimensional reality exists right here, right now, you finally have a new place to focus. You no longer have to stare at the absence. You no longer have to fight the evidence of lack. So what does this actually mean? How do you focus on abundance when your bank account shows the opposite? How do you focus on health when your body is hurting? How do you focus on love when you feel alone? The answer is simple, but not obvious. You can't perceive what you want because you're looking for it only in the 3D world. But what you want already exists in the 4D world. So when you experience lack, it is not true absence. It is only absence in physical form, not absence in existence. And this is where everything begins to change. Your dream home already exists. Your healed body already exists. Your soulmate already exists. Not as imagination, not as fantasy, but as energetic reality, right here, right now. And when you truly understand this, you start playing the game of life differently. Instead of chasing outcomes, you tune into the vibrational version of what you want. Not pretending, not forcing belief, but recognizing something that is unseen, yet more real than what your eyes can show you. And this creates anticipation, not desperation, not longing, a calm knowing. Now, let me tell you a quick story. In 2017, I was diagnosed with extremely high levels of mercury in my body. This came from eating only fish for a long time. I had followed advice that fish was healthier. Turns out, it wasn't healthy for me. After that, everything stacked up. Mercury toxicity, mold sensitivity, chronic symptoms that lasted for years. For about 7 years, my health was a daily struggle. And here's what I realized. Every time I tried to fix my health, I was still focusing on being sick. Even solving the problem kept my attention on the problem. But I also understood something deeper, from personal development and metaphysical teachings. The solution was to place my attention on myself as healthy. But there was a problem. There was no evidence of that in my physical reality. Nothing in my body supported the idea that I was healthy. And this is where Neville's fourth-dimensional idea changed everything. If there is a non-physical reality that is just as real as the physical one, then health could exist even if I couldn't see it yet. So I started saying something different, not as hope, but as truth. I am healthy right here, right now. Not because my body showed it, but because absence in the 3D does not mean non-existence in the 4D. And that shift, that single shift in perception, changed how I related to my body, my thoughts, and eventually, my reality. And I know this now, deeply. As I continue to acknowledge that I am healthy right here, right now, and as I notice when my attention drifts back to illness, to pain, or even to trying to fix the problem, I gently stop myself, and I say, no, I am healthy right now. Because I understand something important. As I keep placing my attention on that fourth-dimensional potential, my attention will slowly turn that energy into form. Not through force, not through struggle, but through alignment. I don't know how it will happen. I don't know when it will happen. But I know this, I will experience myself as healthy. And this became my mantra. I am healthy right now. I don't know how. I don't know when. But I know I will experience full health. Time passed. I was no longer spending all my energy trying to solve my health problems. I still didn't feel great at first, but I was spending more time feeding attention into an equally real truth, that a healthy version of me already existed right here, right now. Then one day, I had an idea. I decided to share all of my symptoms and my genetic information with ChatGPT. Based on what I shared, it suggested specific tests I should run, so I did. Now, keep this in mind. I had already worked with some of the best doctors in the world, but I was always focused on what was wrong, on the absence of wellness, so nothing seemed to work. This time was different. I ran the tests, I uploaded the results, and suddenly everything became clear. The issue wasn't one big problem, it was many small ones. Mitochondrial dysfunction, neurotransmitter imbalance, gut challenges, small issues in different systems creating one big experience of burnout. No single doctor could see the full picture, but now I could. So I built a healing protocol, a custom supplement plan, a step-by-step detox process. And today, I'm about 95% better. And here's the key. This happened because I shifted my attention. I stopped identifying with being broken and started identifying with a version of me that was already healed. Over time, and not even that long, my fourth-dimensional potential became my third-dimensional reality. This is what I call reality hacking. It's the understanding that two realities exist at the same time. One physical, one energetic. And just because one is invisible does not mean it is less real. So I stopped focusing on what my senses showed me, and I started focusing on what existed energetically. That shift accelerated everything. And this creates a powerful identity change. You stop trying to manifest by fixing problems, and you start perceiving life as someone who already knows their outcome is real. This has become one of the most powerful tools in my life. I've used it to build wealth. I've used it in my family. When my wife, Carol, and I faced challenges in our relationship, I knew something deeper was also true. Even when it didn't look like it, there was a version of our relationship that was honest, patient, loving, and deeply connected. So I held that vision. And whenever I noticed the absence of it, I returned my attention to the energetic reality instead. I've used this same approach to move my mission forward in the world. We started as a coaching company. Now we're building a group of companies, transforming health, finance, and media. We're helping build a new kind of economic system, a new way of living and contributing as human beings. Not because it's a dream, but because I know it already exists right here, right now. And as I place my attention on it, my consciousness fuels the fourth dimension and allows it to take form. And the fourth dimension is always projecting itself into your third-dimensional reality. Now, when people first hear this idea, they often say something like, "But this doesn't make sense. If the fourth dimension is always flowing in, why do I keep experiencing the same life again and again? Why does my reality look the same every day?" And here's the answer. Because you keep paying attention to your third-dimensional reality. And whatever you pay attention to is what you keep activating from the fourth-dimensional field. You cannot create something different while constantly focusing on what already exists. This isn't a trick. This isn't pretending. This is simply how reality works. When you truly understand this, it gives you permission to gently pull your attention away from the surface of your life, to stop being hypnotized by what your senses keep showing you, and instead to place your attention on the fourth-dimensional space of possibility. This means withdrawing your focus from what is and turning it toward what could be. And when you do this consistently, it must show up in your physical life. Whether it's your health, your wealth, your relationships, your spiritual connection, your clarity, your business, or the impact you want to make in the world. It has no choice but to become real. This is why so many people feel stuck, like they are living the same day over and over again. They are wrestling with their 3D reality, arguing with the facts of what is, feeding yesterday's story instead of giving attention to the truth of what is possible. So I hope this message landed with you. Just remember this. Everything you want already exists in the fourth dimension. The only question is, will you keep feeding your attention to your current reality, which is really just the past repeating itself? Or will you start placing your attention on the future that already exists, waiting for you to step into it? That choice is always yours. And when you're ready, the next version of your life will meet you there.